But my point is, you're working for a news organization. If they're lying about a comedian taking horse medication, what are they telling us about Russia? What are they telling us about Syria? Do you understand that that's why people get concerned about the veracity of the news?
Joe Rogan is done playing nice with agenda-driven media, and he is lighting the fuse every time he grabs that mic. He says the airwaves are stuffed with clickbait spin and empty outrage. So he is swinging hard with facts, plain logic, and a voice that will not buckle. Rogan knows fake energy when he sees it because he spent years testing jokes in crowded clubs where silence is lethal. That crash course trained him to spot a flimsy story in seconds, and now millions tune in for the same radar.
I'm glad you're better. I'm glad it only lasted a day.
You're probably the only one at CNN that's glad.
No. We're not.
The rest of them are all lying about me taking horse medication. We should talk about that.
That bothered you.
It should bother you, too. They're lying at your network about people taking human drugs versus drugs for veterinary.
Calling it a horse dewormer is not a flattering thing. I get that.
It's a lie. It's a lie on a news network, and it's a lie that's a willing... That's a lie that they're conscious of. This is not a mistake.
Yeah.
They're unfavorably framing it as veterinary medicine.
The spark that set this blaze started when Rogan caught a bad flu. His doctor mapped out a treatment plan that included the human version of ivermectin, a drug that has been on pharmacy shelves for decades. Simple enough, yet certain cable hosts pounced. CNN aired segments that framed Rogan as a crank-gulping horse paste, and he was furious. He believed the smear was payback because he had mocked their ratings slide just weeks earlier. When CNN medical voice Dr. Sanjay Gupta sat down in Rogan's Austin studio, sparks flew. Rogan leaned in, calm but relentless, and asked how a newsroom could blur the line between a human pill and a livestock gel when anyone with a phone can tell them apart.
Did you see that thing that the FDA put out?
What did the FDA put out?
It was a tweet, and it was snarky. I admit it. They said, "You are not a horse, you are not a cow, stop taking this stuff," or something like that.
Why would you say that when you're talking about a drug that's been given out to billions and billions of people, a drug that was responsible for one of the inventors of it making the
Nobel Prize.
The Nobel Prize in 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, a drug that has been shown to stop viral replication in vitro. You know that, right? Why would they lie and say that's horse dewormer? I can afford people medicine, mother. This is ridiculous. It's just a lie.
I don't think anyone is...
But don't you think that a lie like that is dangerous on a news network when you know that they know they're lying? You know that they know that I took medicine, like, here it is. This is ivermectin.
You got it with
right
you.
Here. Somebody gave it to me.
Gupta tried to soften the blow, yet Rogan kept returning to one point, honesty. Rogan then read aloud the FDA tweet that snarked, "You are not a horse. You are not a cow. Stop taking this stuff." He lifted his prescription bottle, shook it for the camera, and barked, "I can afford people medicine. This is ridiculous." Viewers felt the voltage as Gupta admitted they should not have said that. The clip rocketed across social feeds. Memes of cartoon horses holding microphones sprinted through timelines, and the tag Rogan vs. CNN trended for days. Public laughter was aimed squarely at the network, not at the podcaster. Why did the moment explode? Because it hit a raw nerve about trust. If a multi-billion-dollar outlet can mislabel cold meds, what happens when the topic is war or elections? Surveys by Pew and Gallup show faith in legacy news lower than ever, and this blunder poured more fuel on that fire. Rogan widened the lens during later shows. He flashed a list of famous press corrections, from weapons claims in Iraq to the campus story that collapsed and the long Russia dossier saga.
Can I just come back to the one I want to talk about? Two things on the ledger.
You have, before we get to that, does it bother you that the news network you work for out and out lied, just outright lied about me taking horse dewormer?
They shouldn't have said that.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
You didn't ask? You didn't think that was you're the medical guy over there.
I didn't ask. I should have asked before coming on your podcast.
But they did it with such glee.
No,
yes,
Joe.
They did. I watched.
I watched.
You watched.
No, I don't think there's
yes,
glee.
They did.
No one takes...
Joe Rogan says he has COVID, taking livestock drug despite warnings.
One slip is human, he said, but a pattern shows sloppy guardrails. Trump soon entered the chat. Rogan argued that if networks will twist a health item to sting a podcast host, imagine the gloves-off coverage of a former president who upends their narrative. His point landed because viewers have watched headline battles for nearly a decade. Another fresh example came from MSNBC. On Air, they air a bite where a guest said Trump was close friends with a world leader. Anchors guessed Vladimir Putin without checking the tape. Hours later, the full interview proved she had said Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India. The network issued 2 corrections, yet the false claim had already sprinted across the web.
But my point is, you're working for a news organization. If they're lying about a comedian taking horse medication, what are they telling us about Russia? What are they telling us about Syria? Do you understand that that's why people get concerned about the veracity of the news?
That misfire revealed the sticky headline effect. Most viewers catch the first claim and never circle back for the quiet fix. Rogan called it the oops fade out. Each oops chips away at the dam holding public trust. Meanwhile, audiences migrate to long-form chats where hosts and guests trade ideas for hours instead of minutes.
John Roberts, go ahead, John. No. John Roberts, go ahead. CNN's fake news. I don't take questions.
Podcast analytics show top programs breaking the 5 million download mark in a single day, dwarfing many cable slots. Ad buyers noticed, shifting more dollars toward indie shows where hosts read copy in their own voice and listeners rarely skip. Even with heavy negative coverage, Donald Trump's approval among Republican voters keeps climbing. CNN once flashed a chart that showed strong support jumping from 53% in mid-2017 to 63% only 5 months later. Critics joked the network accidentally delivered a campaign poster for the man they loved to hammer. Irony piled up when Trump waved that very chart at a rally, thanking CNN for the free boost. At the same time, several cable news hours slid to record low ratings.
The fake news media is really hitting new lows, so eager to restart their debunked Russian conspiracy theories that they somehow managed to mix up this man, Modi, the Indian Prime Minister, with this dude, Vladimir Putin. Easy mistake to make if you've lost all reasoning, any semblance of objectivity when you are an activist journalist for MSNBC. Here are some of the corrections.
Last night, The Last Word reported on excerpts of an interview between the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, and an Indian TV news network in which she said Trump was good friends with the world leader. Now, we said that world leader was Vladimir Putin, but the full interview was subsequently released, and it showed that Gabbard was referring to Donald Trump and the Indian Prime Minister, Narendra Modi.
Viewers flip to podcasts, email newsletters, and citizen streams, chasing voices they consider authentic. Radio personality Charlemagne the God shrugged off partisan pressure by reminding fans that several presidents, including Obama, Biden, and Clinton, launched strikes without Congress. His note jolted listeners who thought the practice was new with Trump. Moments like this prove independent hosts can spark open debate that big shows often dodge. Substack tells a parallel story. Reporters who left corporate desks now earn more by writing direct to paid subscribers who value transparency. Bari Weiss, Glenn Greenwald, and Matt Taibbi top that list, and each cites the same reason: freedom from gatekeeper spin. Universities mirror the shift. Journalism classes now dissect Rogan interviews to study pacing, follow-ups, and live fact checks.
So Tulsi Gabbard mentions that Trump is good friends with a world leader, and they not only just assumed she's talking about Vladimir Putin, but then they report that as if it were fact on television. That's what happened. Let's hear one more correction from MSNBC on that issue.
Last night, we reported on excerpts of an interview between the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, and an Indian TV news network, in which she said that Trump was good friends with a world leader. We said that world leader was Vladimir Putin, but the full interview shows that Gabbard was referring to Trump and Indian Prime Minister Modi. Clear that up.
Professors say the podcaster studio has become a modern Socratic arena where tough questions and real-time evidence collide. Tech tools pour gasoline on the change. Phone apps post transcripts within minutes, letting users search every word. A politician cannot claim a clip was edited unfairly when a full hour is a finger tap away. Sunlight blasts old shadow games. Lawmakers notice too. Bills in several states aim to shield small outlets from lawsuits that would crush a lone reporter, recognizing that a broad press needs many voices. Critics fret about loose standards, yet the debate shows indie media now matters in policy halls. Even sports networks feel the tremor. Players host their own shows breaking down film and reaching fans without highlight editors trimming the story.
The fact is that despite the relentless fake news and media hysteria, Donald Trump is the most popular president with Republican voters ever. And that includes the great Ronald Reagan after he survived an assassination attempt. Grab some popcorn and enjoy this lefty rage bait, also known as facts.
So this isn't just Republicans who like Donald Trump. This is Republicans who love Donald Trump. And he's up like a rocket. Look at this. In July 2017, the strongly approved was 53%. That's pretty good. But look at where he is now. 63% of Republicans strongly approve of the job that Donald Trump is doing about 5 months into his presidency. Republicans love Donald Trump the way that Americans love Disney World.
Teachers stream live math labs where mistakes are fixed on the spot, modeling transparency for kids. With reach comes duty. Rogan reminds his audience he is opinionated and mortal, urging them to read studies and verify everything. That practice of shared checking beats blind trust, and it inoculates against both propaganda and deep cynicism. Hardware shapes the battlefield too. Recommendation engines nudge videos and articles, and after the ivermectin uproar, some platforms tighten health search filters. Critics fear that heavy hands push users toward fringe sites, but balanced moderation remains a hard walk. Schools now teach media literacy alongside algebra. Kids learn to reverse image search before sharing a shocking picture. Clipping rumors spread at the root. That one skill could save countless hours of national whiplash.
You know, nature is healing. Things are getting better day by day. Even as the demented Democrats call for Donald Trump to be impeached for a targeted strike against Iran's nuclear facilities, still, the number of sane, rational folk is increasing. You know, things are looking up when a confirmed TDS sufferer like Charlemagne is belatedly seeing the light. Now, this is going to outrage his lefty audience. There'll be meltdowns galore because he's spitting facts.
There have been a bunch of presidents who have ordered strikes without congressional approval. Barack Obama did it against Libya. Joe Biden ordered strikes in Iraq and Syria without congressional approval. Bill Clinton did it to Kosovo, I think you pronounce it. So presidents ordering military action without congressional approval has become pretty routine.